Welcome back to Healing with Creativity, and this week's video has to do with trust. So we're doing a trust exercise, and it's really simple. You need pen and something that makes marks, and then if you want a separate journal to work in, to write in afterwards, but you don't need to, you can have it in that same one. So I'll probably use my art journal and just do it all in one because I do that typically. So I'm going to flip over to the other camera and we'll get started, okay? Okay, so this week we're working on trust issues. And so the exercise is to create a picture of a house and fence or another image that works for you, showing how much you let others in, showing your boundaries. So think about different people and if that picture would be different for one person or another. And then once we've done that one, we're going to draw a second picture of how you would like your boundaries to be, how much you would want to allow others in, or yourself out maybe. So I'm going to do both on the same page. You can do two separate pages. I'm doing it in my art journal. You can do it on plain paper. I'm going to use markers, and I think I just have these ones handy because they're always on my desk. So I'm going to just divide this page in two so I can do the two. So what my boundaries are, and then what I would like them to be. Got lumps in my paper. There's feathers glued on the other side, so my lines aren't so straight. But I'm not worried about that because it's not about what I'm drawing. It's about thinking about the reason and the process of it all. So that's my gate and latch, just in case you weren't sure. I can understand why you might not have been. So that's my gate and latch. I'm just going to add a little bit of color so it's a little more. It's just starting to think about your trust of others. And like I did ask, would this picture be different for other people? And of course it would. There's going to be different people that you trust more than others. So you may want to draw multiple pictures. How much do you trust your family? How much do you trust your friends? How much do you trust your coworkers? So you may want to figure that out. And maybe you already know, but I love the creative process for just starting to think about different things. Right? Starting to think about things in a different way. All right, so that's my house. So the fence is my trust, and it's pretty open. I have a gate, a nice picket fence. Picket fences always seem kind of friendly. And quite honestly, I don't know that I would change this. I feel pretty comfortable with my trust right now. I feel like I have pretty clear boundaries. I trust people at first, give them a chance, and then let that go. So I think instead of doing what I would like to be, because I feel really comfortable with where I'm at, I feel like friendly and open, I think I'm going to draw where I was at. Like even 5 years ago, I feel like I had a lot of really hard trust issues. And I would say I was more of a brick wall then. I feel like there was quite a brick wall. I probably should put an opening of some kind because I let a few people in. When you've had, your trust broken repeatedly in your life, whether it be from parents or spouses, friends, coworkers, your company you work for, you really do start to build up those walls. And like I was speaking about in the blog, as your trust is broken, you learn to look for your trust to be broken. So getting into relationships with people who are going to break your trust, my thing, because I'm a bit of an odd duck, and I think I've mentioned this before, I have Asperger's, and so I don't always think like other people. And so people tend to really like me, or they used to tend to really like me in the beginning. And then I just became a little bit too much because I am odd and I say weird things and I feel weird feelings and I don't really fit. So people abandoned me a lot in my life. So I'm going to make my brick wall. That's my brick wall. And I'm not going to color it in because I feel like there's still maybe a gate somewhere. Maybe it's hidden. I can't really figure out where it is right now. But there's an opening. So I'm not going to color it in because I don't feel like it's a super solid brick wall. I just feel like I had definite like fear issues and I didn't really trust well. And it wasn't until I started to work on myself and how I felt about my own self and started to trust myself, that's where things started to change. And I think my house probably, it might have even been a little happier. I'm going to do a pink house because I feel like my house was like, because people wanted to get to know me, right? People wanted to know more about me, but I just didn't trust well. So I think it feels almost like I'm going to put some shingles on this one because I didn't leave room for a roof. So we'll just decorate that up a little bit. But so people wanted to get to know me, and I'm just going to make some half windows because I was a little bit quirky and odd. I look more like an odd face. I'm going to put my door here, just a really standard plain door. Pretty solid wood door. But, you know, I kind of had bright colors and people were always attracted by that. And so, you know, if I did let this brick wall down at all or show them the gate, it didn't last. And so that was definitely an issue. So instead of doing, like I said, the now and what you'd like it to be, because mine is pretty similar, I did a before and now. And so you can see that difference, right? And so after you've done drawing the pictures, that's when you're going to get out your journal and your pen. So I'm a huge proponent of journaling. And when you can write through the process and what you're feeling as this comes up and how it makes you feel, like this one I was fine with. This one is like, oh God, I have a little bit of angst in my stomach. I can feel that feeling of what things used to be like. And then you start to question yourself, oh, should I still be that guarded? And I know it's not true because my life is so much better now, but that still comes up, right? So I'm going to write about that process. And you can just flip the page or find another page, or if you've got a writing journal. What I actually like to do is write in my art journal. So normally I do my journaling first and then I put art on top of it. But this time, because I've already done this part, I'm going to wash this away. So I'm just going to take a brush, and I have a really great scruffy brush. Oh, no, that's not it. Right here. See my really great scruffy brush. And I use Tombow markers. So I am going to wash these pictures away. So you don't need to do this, but I'm going to wash the pictures away, and then I'm going to use this page to do my journaling on. I really like to do that. I like to use the page that I've written on or arted on and use it for both the journaling and the art. So, but like I said, you do not need to do that. You do whatever's comfortable for you, but I would highly recommend doing your journaling. So I'm just gonna wet this down and let it dry, and then I'm going to start my writing. So just to show you the difference, this is a journaling page that I've done. I haven't wet down yet. So this was my morning journaling, and I actually like to use different colors in the same, like different hues, different values. So I did a bunch of different blues. So every time I changed direction, so I would write in one direction and then I would write in another direction, right? I kept turning the book. And so what I do then is I literally wash away the words. So I wash the words away. And then this is what I use as a background in my art journal. So this journal for me, this art journal, is both. I write and then I do art in it. So you may see me use this journal for my Create With Me classes. I sometimes use it for these exercises, these Healing with Creativity exercises. So yeah, and I really like that look of the colors sort of blended together. This one had a couple of blues and some purple in it. And then I let that dry and then I'll do art on it. So I'm just going to show you. So for instance, this is a page that I had journaled on, it looks like in pink pen. And then I washed that away with water, and then I added a little bit of paint. And then I did a little more journaling on this one, which I don't always do, but this was about the Black Lives Matter. And so that's sort of the next steps. I'm just going to see if I have another one that, I know I have a bunch in here, but, oh, and sometimes I even draw pictures with my journaling. So I'll journal in certain colors in certain areas, and then journal in another color in other areas. So this one here was the collage one, and this one has the journaling behind, and you can barely even tell that it was journaled. You can barely see any words or anything like that. So just an idea for backgrounds if you don't know what to do to start your pages, because now I have a bunch of pages in here just waiting. Oh, here's another one. Just waiting for me to do art. This was the one I just did, and it was still wet, and it touched another one, so now it's got some funky colors. I'm going to just do that again quickly. Yeah, so now it's got a bit more color to it. Okay, so now to this one. I'm going to do my journaling on top, but like I said, you don't need to. You can do it in a different book, and I will do my journaling about how I felt when I brought this up. But anything to do with the trust issue, is this the type of fence you want? Or do you if you've built something different down here, write about that. Write about how this makes you feel. So I'm going to do mine and you do yours. So as you can see, my writing is atrocious, but it's not about reading it. So that's not the point. And quite often what I'll do in my art journal is write even messier because I don't want to be reading it, right? I'm going to wash it away usually anyway. So the interesting thing was, so I started writing about trust and, why I had such a hard time with it and then it was when I started to trust myself and I found that strength within is when things started to change for me. And I just wanted to come back and mention that because I think it's so important that we learn to trust ourselves. And I had never been taught that mistakes were okay. I had always been taught that mistakes were not okay. And once I learned that mistakes were okay, I could trust myself more because it was okay to make mistakes. And what is correct for one person is not necessarily correct for another person. So mistakes are okay. And I just wanted to come back and say that as well. Learn to trust yourself, but also that mistakes are okay. Okay, so I just finished the exercise and you may or may not have done it the same way. I just did it all in my journal. I did the opposite of what I asked you to do because I did my now and then I did my before, because my now is pretty similar. But my thought for you was to do your now and then what you wish it to be. So just sort of get a sense of where you're at. If you have a really good scene for your now, then do where it was before. If you are not really feeling great about where you are now, then do where you would like to be, right? So that's kind of important for you to be able to understand that within your own self. And I did my journaling right over top, but you don't need to do that. You can do your journaling in a journal. So do that however works for you. Again, it's about the process, that dreaded P word. It's about the process and not the actual end result. So whatever is going to work for you is what's best, okay? So have an amazingly creative week, and I will see you next week. Bye for now. Thank you for listening in. Please remember to like, share, subscribe wherever you are watching or listening. You can find us at www.creativeyou.ca.